good evening to you, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30. Weather has been the big story this week. A lot of us have seen a lot of snow, or others haven't seen as much. This morning, I was talking with my mom, and I was telling her how much snow we got here in Traverse City, and that it's kind of been a doozy. And I asked her how much she got in Alpena. She's like, "Oh, we have a couple inches. It's really pretty." I'm like, "Oh, that's good." She's like, "Oh, is it pretty for you?" It's like, yeah, it's pretty, but it's also pretty horrendous to drive in these conditions. So let's bring in our chief meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix. So, Joe, we know that we're going to continue to see some snow overnight, but what about the eastern side of the state, the Alpenas and Oscodas? Are they going to see any more snow with this current system, or not really?
Not much, no.
Okay.
not a lot. There's a little bit actually going all the way across the state tonight. But it is, basically tonight it's Gaylord Grayling north up to the bridge, kind of seeing that. And then also near Lake Superior are the areas kind of tonight, Maya.
Yeah.
So we'll have more on that coming up. We just still expect some spots to get a few more inches of accumulation. And then we have this kind of weird roller coaster ride. We're looking at some rain.
Okay.
And then maybe another round of snow too. All just in the course of the next week as we get a little bit closer to Christmas. So we'll highlight all that in a few minutes.
All right, and going off of that, Otsego County is still under a winter storm warning until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And right now, some of the busiest people there are those who are working to keep the roads clear. So road commissions have been busy plowing snow and putting salt down throughout the day and overnight. And Up North Live's Daniel Zivian spoke with some road managers about the pretty busy start to this winter.
We do have some new employees that we've hired over the last 2 years. And so they're on a learning curve. First snowstorm we had this year was a record snowfall. So, but they're doing good. They're getting through it, and they're getting through their beats. And what a better way to learn, right?
Most of Otsego County's trucks are out on the roads, leaving an almost empty garage. Harrier says the CRC is doing well so far with working trucks and plenty of salt, but it could be a problem if we continue having large snowstorms at the same rate.
That's about $170,000 it costs the road commission to plow the roads that weekend because it was a holiday. That's factoring in your fuel and all the other expenses. Again, that's what we're here to do. That's our primary mission, so we're happy to do it. But we do also have to stay within a budget. So we have too many of those snowstorms. It is impactful financially to a road commission.
Harrier says budget concerns could even change depending on the day of a storm.
We have employees that are here every day, Monday through Friday, and on the weekends too. The more snow we get, we have to bring in those additional those employees on the weekends, and we have to pay them overtime, and we have those expenses we otherwise would not have: fuel, salt, and sand.
It's always nice to have the extra funds if weather doesn't take them away during the wintertime to be able to do improvements. But we're prepared. We have salt in the barns, and we got enough money in the bank to be able to take care of whatever winter throws at us.
That was Daniel Zivian reporting. Let's turn things over to our question of the day related to all the snow some of us have been seeing. Did winter weather and road conditions keep you at home today? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. That'll take you to our website where you can vote on this question. As of right now, 55% of our voters said yes, 45% said no, and we have 615 votes plus 50 plus comments on our Facebook page. So a little later on in the show, we will take another look at the live results and also read some of those comments. I know today I had a workout class in the morning that I thought about canceling, but I got myself up and out the door, and the roads weren't great in Traverse City, but made it to my workout class. And I think there's usually like maybe 15, 20 people there. There were 4 of us. So it was kind of a nice little like personalized workout class. But let's turn things over to another story that we are working on today. So being from Northern Michigan, there is no shortage of communities coming together to help those who need help. And we have shared so many stories over the years of different ways that communities and organizations kind of, like I said, come together to help their community. But Mark Gillette has a really interesting story on how people in Benzie County are using music and concerts to help those who are facing a financial emergency. So here's Mark with that full story.
The Mills is a historic building.
Lots of folks may recognize this building as the home of the library in Benzonia, without knowing that upstairs at the Mills Community House is somewhat of a surprise.
Our niche is in providing space to other nonprofits, and sometimes the local governments for doing their outreach programs.
This space upstairs, unexpected perhaps, but thanks to the Mills Community House Association, it's the place that hosts one of Benzie County's newest Helping Hand programs.
The Benzonia Area Community Emergency Fund is meant to help people in the community who find themselves in a tight spot. What we do is we raise funds by donations through these monthly concerts, and then the emergency fund directly pays off a bill for somebody in need.
They held their first such concert last month.
It's all through donations. The musicians donate their time, Fieldcraft in Honor donates the posters, and then the venues donate the space.
And folks who come to the free concert, if they can, do their part.
Pass the bucket donations. For the concert here last month, one of the musicians lent us their guitar case and we had that open and people just threw money in.
And throw they did.
The first concert went really well. Almost 60 people attended and we raised over $1,000. So
money raised for the recently established Benzonia Area Community Emergency Fund.
There is a nomination form on our website, and you can go in there and nominate somebody else, and the bill needs to be included so that we can make sure we have the funds to cover it, and then also that gives us the information we need to then go directly pay it off.
Because, after all,
it doesn't matter what your income is. Everybody finds themselves in a tight spot. Sometimes unexpected expenses come up. And so the fund is here to help alleviate some of that stress.
The first concert, a success all around. The next, this Sunday, 4 p.m. in this space. And Kristen has artists and venues planned out for the months ahead as well. A concert that provides more than just toe tap and fun at a time when the need for help remains oh so high.
It feels really great, and it's nice tying it up with music because this is a fun event to come to, so it really brings you together more than just donating money to something. You know, there's a whole cultural musical event to bring people together too.
And Mark is joining us live now in a very festive setting. Hey, Mark, thanks so much for coming on Unscripted to talk more about your story tonight.
Absolutely. Well, this was a fun story. It was we've probably a lot of us have driven by the mills there in Benzie County, and a lot of us know that the library is on the first floor. Mm-hmm. I had never been up to the second floor, and when I walked into that room, I was like, this is the coolest space ever. And it turns out they're doing really cool things with that cool space.
Right. And I was saying before your story that there are so many different ways around Northern Michigan that organizations are coming together to lend a helping hand to people in their communities. This is a really unique one by offering these free concerts. Where did this idea come from?
Well, it's actually borrowed, according to Kristen, it was borrowed from Empire. Apparently Empire's been doing this quite a bit. And they saw how successful that program was. And Kristen's very quick to point out that there are a lot of organizations in Benzie County that help with a lot of different things. But they saw this need and this opportunity that they could help meet that need and do it this way. So they jumped right on it. They had their first concert last month, and it was a huge success. And so she has now become almost a concert promoter, if you will. She does a lot of this work by herself and with help of a few helpers. But they've turned to the community, and the community has stepped up in terms of donations for things like printing all the posters that go out and about, as well as a call to local musicians to volunteer their time. And this is all a volunteer effort. So she lines up the musicians, they print the posters, and then folks come, and you're more than welcome to come. And if you just want to come see the concert, you can come see the concert. But they do ask, hey, if you're able to and you want to, you can throw a little money in the bucket they pass around, and then that money goes to make a difference. So
is there a set schedule of when these concerts take place?
They in talking to Kristen, she was like, well, we have that we schedule them out. So they will, and that last one and this one will take place right there at the mills. But then she's also looking at other venues around town. So as we get into the summer months, I believe St. Ambrose Cellars has agreed to host one of these. Various businesses in town that have space and would like to lend a helping hand. So they have to, you have to have a venue and you have to have a performer, right? That's kind of the basics of concerts, right? And so she does have a schedule for the next several months out there in terms of who the performer will be and where it will take place. And so far, I said, is it hard to get artists? And she's like, honestly, a lot of people have been coming to her even and being like, hey, I'd like to perform. I'd like to help out, make a difference in the community. So at this point, it hasn't been challenging. There is a schedule. It will come out. They'll do one a month. And it'll just depend on who's performing and where it's going to be.
That is awesome. So if there's is someone in Benzie County who maybe does need help paying some bills, how can they get involved and maybe potentially become a recipient of these funds?
It's kind of interesting, and you would definitely want to get in touch with the Mills Foundation, the Mills Association, in order to get more of the nuts and bolts about it. But basically, the way it works is somebody submits on behalf of somebody else, hey, there's this need. And you have to submit the bill with that request. And essentially, somebody is having trouble paying this bill, heat, water, electric, whatever it is. And then the association takes a look at it, and they then, because you've submitted the bill, they take care of the bill directly. So the money does not go to a person. It instead goes to pay that particular bill. And this is intended as an emergency situation. So there are a lot of organizations, great organizations in Benzie County that may help with more long-term things. This is really intended for an emergency situation. It's right there in the name of the association fund. It's an emergency situation. So they're not, their purpose is not really to help somebody month after month. It's to be, here's a one-time thing. It came up. It's an emergency. We'll take care of it.
Anything else you want to mention about this story that we didn't get to talk about or that wasn't in your original story?
Benzie County, like a lot of our counties in northern Michigan, is really a county where neighbors help neighbors. Yeah. And a lot of times they do it very quietly. It was really awesome to feel the energy that Kristen and the Benzie County community has for this particular project. They're excited to get people together, build that sense of community that comes with a shared experience of enjoying a concert, yet at the same time be able to lend a helping hand to a neighbor who might need that help. The response has been great. The need, of course, is great. We know that in every county that we cover, the need for this kind of help is great. So I just wish them the best of luck. They've got a lot of enthusiasm for this. They have some momentum. They have a good blueprint to work off of what they've been able to do in Empire. So I wish them the best of success moving forward.
I'm excited to see where they go. And I know I'm intrigued to check out one of these concerts as well. So Mark, thanks so much for joining us. And we do have more information on the Benzonia Area Community Emergency Fund on our website, UpNorthLive.com. But let's take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll bring in our Chief Meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix, and he'll have much more on the forecast for our Friday and for the weekend. So stay with us.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Welcome back, everyone. Some of us are still seeing more snowfall tonight, but I think the big story for, I'm assuming, most of northern Michigan is the cold temperatures. We, I think, saw the coldest night of the season yesterday, right, Joe?
Last night for
Last
some
night.
areas, last night, and probably even a little colder tonight.
That's what my question was, where I was trying to get.
Right, for a few spots coming up here. Then we're going to start warming back up again as we head into the weekend. Kind of a this up and down roller coaster. You see the camera there in Gaylord. That is a look right now. It's starting to get covered up in snow. That's never good. Got to get one of those, either these cameras, you keep the windshield wipers in there. Did you know that? Or a long time ago we had ones with that, yeah. Or they had little mini heaters in them. That come in handy this time of the year. But that's Gaylord. You can see snow-covered roads. Here is a look at the winter storm warnings that are still in effect around the north until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Kalkaska, Crawford counties, but I think more north of theirs are the heavier snow will fall. So we're talking Otsego, Antrim, Charlevoix, Emmett, and Sheboygan counties. And then in the UP, Luce and parts of Chippewa County, including Sault Ste. Marie, are under winter storm warnings again through tomorrow morning. We talked about the chilly weather. Here's a look at the temperatures right now around the western Great Lakes. Our area generally in the teens tonight. Sault Ste. Marie 13, 15 at Alpena, Traverse City. Ironwood over in the west end of the UP has been sitting below zero all day long today. So it has been cold, certainly a chilly one. The old weather map tonight, this bubble of cold air kind of right over our area. And of course, that cold air crossing the open waters of the Great Lakes is leading to some of that lake effect snow that we've had off and on through the area. Here's a look at radar updated as of right now. Here's a little closer look at some of the snow. And you see it's right over the winter storm warned counties. That one band of snow is crossing all the way over to Onaway and Rogers City. So if you're in Onaway, Indian River, you've had some heavy snow passing through just north of Harbor Springs, near Petoskey, and into the Gaylord area, and even back into Leelanau County, parts of Antrim County, Bel Air, Mansalona, looking at some pretty good snows. Walloon Lake, by the way, you've had 18 inches of snow so far. Here's a look at what we expect as we move forward here. Snow kind of tapers off, except around Whitefish Bay and the Sioux area. I do think some snow will continue there. But tomorrow evening, this pretty much comes to an end. And then take a look at, as we get into the weekend, here's Saturday, a pretty nice day. Partly cloudy, let's call it that. A little increase in clouds in the afternoon. And then we're going to cloud up Saturday night, and then even a couple showers there early Sunday. Sunday's just going to be cloudy and, looking at 40s coming up here. Long range forecast. Just want to show you something. There's another round. Look at that. That's Monday afternoon and evening. That's rain early next week. And that will then be replaced potentially as another system arrives with some snow 2 days later on Wednesday. So kind of an up and down forecast. Here's a look at our extended forecast across the north. Again, we start warming back up 30s Saturday, some 40s in spots Sunday, 40s likely Monday with that rain, and then another chance for some snow by next Wednesday, which by that time, Maya, will be 1 week away from Christmas.
Is it too early to start looking at Christmas?
No, I always ask for gifts, right after,
Weather-wise?
Yeah, no, we can take a look. I'll take a look. Maybe we'll have another look at that tomorrow coming up.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Yep.
Let's take a quick commercial break, but we will be joined by Sports Director Harrison Beebe in just a few minutes, so stick around. You're watching UpNorthLive Unscripted. Gaylord has been in the news a lot this week for all the snow they've been getting, but there's also some pretty exciting sports news happening out of Gaylord. Let's turn things over to Sports Director Harrison Beebe for more on that. Hey, Harrison.
Hey, Maya. Yeah, that's right. The Gaylord Wrestling program is known as a powerhouse in the area, and a big reason why is head coach Jerry LaJoy, who's been there the last 10-plus years, won over 800 career team victories, got teams individual state titles, has constantly made deep runs in the state tournaments. There's a real powerhouse downstate in Lowell that always seems to be in their way in a Division II team state title. But either way, however you slice it, Gaylord's been one of the best programs for wrestling in the entire state the last decade plus. But Coach Jerry LaJoy has stepped down. New coach Casey Stradling is stepping in, and he has some history in Northern Michigan. We caught up with him as part of, here's a snippet of the Jimmy John Sports Corner to learn who Coach Stradling is. Tell me a little bit about your history with the Gaylord Wrestling program. What got you? I know you've been an assistant. What got you involved in the first place, and then how you came about taking over Coach LaJoy's head coaching position?
Okay, well, yeah, I've been somewhat of a wrestling nomad most of my life. I actually started not far away from here in Petoskey. I wrestled there all throughout, my childhood and through high school under Ray Arthur, and competed against Jerry for many years. Got my teaching degree, and then started coaching and trying to get back up north. And eventually, 3 years ago, Jerry kind of reached out to me. They had an opening coming up. He knew that I've been coaching a lot around the areas, and he knew that his retirement was on the horizon. So he was reaching out to someone, I think the way he said it, that he knew that would take care of the program and cared about wrestling, because I did know that he put a lot of time into it. And that's kind of what he was looking to do. He wanted to sustain that program and make sure that it went on.
Yeah, an interesting story, Maya. He said one of his first tournaments or events that he competed as part of an assistant at Gaylord was at Petoskey, and it was a dual meet where they were honoring alumni for Petoskey. So several of his co-wrestlers, he won a state championship with them in 1996, and then some of the guys he actually helped coach over there were all honored that night, and then they even paid tribute to him. So it was kind of cool. The whole gym, Gaylord and Petoskey fans, were kind of cheering on Coach Stradling for that one. But now he is pure Blue Devil as far as the coaching sense is concerned.
That is awesome. Well, Harrison, thanks so much for joining us. And you can see Harrison's full Jimmy John Sports Corner tonight on Up North Live News at 11. Let's take another quick break, but we do have a lot of comments to our question of the day, so we'll read some of those when we come back.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Today's question of the day has 632 votes. It is, did winter weather and road conditions keep you at home today? It's pretty split. 55% say yes, 45% say no. We have quite a few comments on our Facebook page, so I will just read a few. But John says, couldn't get out of my driveway until after 3 p.m., but I'm retired, so it didn't matter. A lot of people are saying, no, I had to go to work. Let's see, Ann said, no, went out, shoveled 3 driveways, and hoping we get more in Alpena. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Mary Sue says she missed her dentist appointment. A lot of people say, we live in Michigan. You have to find a way to get to work. Sure. Beverly says, yep, I couldn't see, and there was no road. A lot of people are saying, I had to go to work. Betty says, couldn't get out of my front door. Pamela says, not in Atlanta. So a lot of different comments. Some of us could stay home today, which was nice. Others had to go to work or had to get to that appointment. So hopefully the roads didn't impact your commute too much if you did have to travel. But of course, still be careful out there tonight as well. Some areas are still under a winter weather watch tonight. We'll have much more on that on Up North Live News at 11. But thanks so much for joining us on Up North Live Unscripted. Take care and be safe out there, everyone.